What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Brandon back here with another editing video, installment number 4 of the 365-day project. Now, ran into a little bit of an issue last night. Mother Nature kind of, she ruined our shoot. So on the 4th of July, unfortunately we got rained out, so we couldn't get any those firework pole shot set that we were talking about. Now there is a chance that tomorrow on Saturday that there's going to be another kind of like a community firework show going on. We might try it again then, who knows. But in the meantime, we do have some backup content and I think it's going to be great. So last week I actually shot with Brooke, with Brooke Faith Photography. She's a fantastic gal. Highly recommend her as a photographer, and I am super lucky that she let me second shoot her wedding, which actually took place down in Pensacola, Florida. That is actually a crazy story. We'll get back to that a little bit after this. But she was super kind enough to allow me to kind of edit some of these photos, and just know though that as a second photographer at a wedding, it's a little bit harder to kind of control the scene. So you're kind of just dealt the cards that you're given, so to speak, unless the main photographer actually tells you to step up in certain areas. So just keep that in mind as we go and edit some of these photos. You'll see that like the angles are kind of not what you would expect of a main shooter, and that's fine because, again, like I was saying, I was a second shooter. So let's actually let's go into a little bit about what went on that day, because it was a crazy day. So actually, I showed up at her place. Let's see. The day before we shot, she had like an outdoor session. I kind of helped her with that. I was kind of her assistant on that shoot. Crashed down in Chattanooga. Then the next day, I met up with her around 5 in the morning. We actually left from Chattanooga, drove all the way down to Pensacola, which I believe was like a five-hour drive, maybe a little bit longer. Shot the entire 8-hour wedding, which started at 2. Shot the entire 8-hour wedding, and then we were actually crazy enough to hop in the car and drive back. So needless to say, we were just beyond exhausted afterwards, but I think we really got some great stuff. And this is kind of, I just want to go over some of the images, I just kind of want to go over some of the images that I pulled out from that shoot. Like I said, I think this was a fantastic shoot. I had a lot of fun shooting it, and I actually hope to get to shoot with Brooke here in the future. Anyways, before we jump into the session, just want to let you know, I actually put all of Brooke's information down in the comment section below. Or actually, I guess it's in the description section. All that information is in the description section. So go on, check out her website, check out her Facebook. I'm sure she'll appreciate the love. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we're basically gonna go over here. I've already pre-culled a few images that I really liked from the shoot. Again, this isn't the entire shoot, so don't expect me to be editing an entire wedding here on camera. I just want to go over kind of, some of the shots that I really liked that I got as a second shooter. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and open up Lightroom. Make sure that we're in the library tab, so that way I can just go ahead and select all of these and import them into Lightroom. Bango. And as that's importing, I'm going to take a sip of my English breakfast tea. Woo-wee, that's hot. Oh, that's so hot. That is so hot. All right. We got 2 operations in progress here. So Lightroom's just building all the what do you call those? Previews. We're building all the previews. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. Looks like we are good to go. And let's go ahead and smash that develop button and go ahead and get started. So this one... this is one of those things. Again, as I edit, I hit the J key, and what that does is it actually shows me, you see the red right here? That's clipping into pure whites, and this little tiny dot of blue down here is actually, it's going and it's showing me where my blacks are clipping. So right out of the camera, I really like this shot. However, it just doesn't quite feel like my edit. So again, like I said, all of my actual film work is based off of Fuji 400H. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just pre-apply that preset across the board, since I know that is going to match any of the film stocks that I'm shooting. But I'm gonna go ahead and also continue to make some other edits here as well. Just waiting on that to apply across the preset. And here we go. That's good. So then we're going to go ahead and deselect one of these. That way we can just work on a single image rather than working across the board. So I'm going to bump up the exposure on this, because I really, whoa, that's way too much. I really enjoy that light and airy look. So we're going to bring that back down to about right there. Some other edits with the masked in. We're gonna turn that shadow soft, which will help kind of let those shadows fall out a little bit more. The major focal point here is the ring, not necessarily the flowers. So I definitely want to kind of keep the contrasty here while the image kind of fades out. I really enjoy where this image is at already, so I'm probably gonna stop right there. So another thing too is, once I find where I'm at with each of these images, I like to add a medium format grain to them. And so what that kind of does is, if you look up here in like the corners and whatnot, adds a little bit of grain to the image that kind of mimics some of that medium format that I'm shooting in film. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This one's gonna be a little bit harder. This one's gonna be a little bit harder because obviously it's a lot darker, but you know, because we shot in RAW, that's not gonna be a big problem. So we can actually bring this up quite a bit, and we can actually still get that light and airy look. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it about right there. The image looks just a tiny bit desaturated for my taste, so we're actually gonna bring that vibrance slider up just a hair. And so that vibrance will actually bring back a lot of the colors without messing up the skin tones too much. The skin tones look a little gray, so we're actually gonna bump up our warmth just a touch, probably about right there. Kind of like that image as it is, so we'll go ahead and throw our medium format grain on there. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the highlight soft looks like. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. Alright. Here's kind of another one. I didn't get the whole party in there. There's a couple of gals over here off to the left and right, but it's kind of like in the heat of the moment, that's kind of all I could get. So we're gonna try and bump this up just a little bit. Try and get it to match our previous image as much as possible. See, that's a little bit too much. We're actually gonna take the highlights. We're gonna hit the highlight soft real quick, because I think since I took these in a really shadowy area, that, you know, these highlights can be subdued just a little bit more. We're gonna go ahead and throw the medium format grain on there and move right on to the next one, because I think that one's pretty good. This one right here, we're gonna see what we can do. Kind of, you know, the thing about weddings is we're dealt with what we're given in the heat of the moment here. So definitely gonna bring the couple, gonna center them up here, a little bit off to the left, and that's fine. So then I'm gonna bring up the exposure just a hair. Okay, so see how we're kind of getting some of that haze here? We're gonna come down here to this totally awesome, this is like my best friend right here, the dehaze slider. We're bringing that up just a bit. And see, we're getting some of that contrast back, which is great, because what we're gonna do here is we're gonna drive the exposure slider up a little bit. So see how a lot of that red came in? Basically what I was saying is that my whites are clipping now, which is fine, because I don't mind if those blow out so much. We're gonna bring the dehazer slider up just a bit more, kind of see if we can bring back some of that. We're getting some halo effects here, so I'm almost wondering if we can bring that back just a hair by dropping our blacks down a bit. I don't think we're gonna get it as light and airy as we want it, you know, based off of just kind of what we're dealt with here. Definitely need to mess with the white balance here, because I mean, it's just, this image is gonna give any good editor a run for their money. You know, there's just a lot of blue. There's just a lot of blue in this image, and so kind of want to, let's see here, where is it? Oh, here it is. It just, let's see if we can drop the saturation just a bit. Yeah, see, there we go. We can kind of bring that back just a little bit more. Bringing out some of that blue. The dress is back to white. I'm gonna actually turn up my noise reduction just a bit, because I did bring that image back from the brink, so to speak. I'm not super happy with how this image turned out, so we're just gonna move on to this one. And that's kind of the process of editing. You know, sometimes you'll find images that you like, that you're gonna spend some time on, then you're gonna find some images that you don't really care for. Like, I can pretty much tell you right out of the gate for this image right here, like, look how yellow it is over here off to the left. So what I'll probably do here is I'm gonna start off with a gradient filter, and I'm gonna definitely drop down the warmth color here. Just kind of waiting for my computer to decide if it wants to play ball or what. Okay, here we go. I finally got it. So let's go ahead and let's bring those to about as true of a white as we can get. See, that already looks a lot better. Flowers are kind of white, so we're gonna bump that up just a little bit more. And then maybe just a touch on the exposure. Not a whole lot, just a touch. And we're gonna bring back some of that contrast and really drop the black, so that way, see how that suit really just stays black now. I kind of like how we got going on here. So we're gonna drop this gradient filter so we can look at the rest of everything here. Let's go ahead and bump up the exposure, going for that light and airy look as well. I do enjoy a good cup of English breakfast tea. English breakfast tea. English breakfast tea. Okay. A little bit blue under the hands, so we're gonna take here we go. Take our brush here, just brush underneath here, and we're actually gonna bump up and just get rid of that blue. See, that looks magnificent right there. I do enjoy that photo. It's got a subtleness to it. Go ahead and look at some of these groomsmen photos, huh? These ones are going to be super easy. Like I said, 400H. Already, these aren't going to take a whole lot to edit, because it's one of those. There's kind of one of those images that I got fairly correct in camera. Let's go ahead and remove this leaf here. The unfortunate fact of the matter is it rained, like just torrential downpoured as we got there. So, you know, some of the things that we were working with were just, it was crazy. So this is going to be interesting since my computer's just, oh. We're just trying to get that as close as possible. You know, and sometimes it's not worth it. So I think leaves just gonna stay in there. I might pull it into Photoshop if I really cared about it, but you know, again, I second shot this, so I'm not super worried about delivering it to the client and, you know, making sure everything is as kosher as it needs to be. So we're gonna go ahead and bump up the exposure just a bit. Get that light and airy look. Maybe we gotta bump up the color looks a little funny on this. Oops. I mean to chop that down. We're gonna add just a little bit more pink here. You guys look a little... They looked a little green in that photo. Kind of the same thing here. Bob's your uncle. Increase that. Maybe on this one, drop the blacks just a hair. Adjust my white balance. You know, I'm curious. Let's see what auto gets us. It's not bad. It's not great either. I'd probably drop it about right there. About 68.25. Do the same thing here. 68.25. Kind of wish it went out a little bit further. So I'd like to. No, the horizon's all right. So just kind of a interesting photo. There's just a lot of negative space. Whoop. Let's start off here. I kind of don't like that one. Let's just go ahead. Leave it at that. Maybe bring it down just a... Whoop. Oh, I don't know what I did there. I don't know. I kind of want to leave it because, you know, you got the kid in there and whatnot, so... Bring this back one up too. Look at that. Those beautiful people. I'm losing some of the contrast in here, so we're gonna bring the blacks back, and that's gonna bring back some of the contrast. Really like this photo. Really like it. Might actually bump that up just a hair more. There we go. This one, kind of simple. I wanted to that, and then check this out. Watch this. This is my favorite. This is easily my favorite thing about Lightroom. Is we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take the lens profile. We're gonna hit. I don't know, do they even have Rokinon? They do. Rokinon 14mm, and look at that. It just crushes that barrel distortion. This image went from like borderline unusable to like, bam. I like that photo. Really not a whole lot more we even need to do to it. So let's go ahead. You guys are gonna laugh, but let's go ahead and jump up that exposure just a touch. See if we can. No, they all look pretty much straight, so. Oh, this one was totally adorable. I love this one. We'll bring that one up, and the exposure is going to jump up quite a bit on this one. We really need to bring the exposure back. Whoop. I mean, look at that. That's just totes adorbs. Just want to look, make sure all the details in here. Perfect. And the best part about that is since that was very similar to these ones, we can just do this is that 6825. Go ahead and enter that. Bump up the exposure a few stops. Oh, there we go. Perfect, perfect. Oh, that's right. Brooke got slightly in this one, which is fine. Again, I was the second shooter, so when you're the second shooter, you kind of are you're at the mercy of the main shooter, and you gotta let her do what she does best. We're gonna hit highlight soft on this, and that's gonna bring back the dress just a touch. Again, 6825. The beautiful thing about working in the same kind of environment each time is a lot of your settings are going to be the same. This one's kind of a little green, so we're gonna go ahead and bring up the pinks just a bit here. Ooh, too far. Go ahead and bump up that exposure. Huh? What do you say? Bump up that exposure. Looking good. Crop this in just a hair, not a lot, just a hair. Yeah, such a gorgeous photo. I keep going back and forth on. I really like their face and everything, but it got Brooke's hand in it, so. And that crop feels a little too tight, so. I don't know, I'll keep it. I may or may not use it. Who knows? This one, I definitely am not going to use. I don't know why I called that in. We're going to go ahead and just remove that one. And then lastly, last but not least, we're going to go ahead. 6800, or 6825 actually was what we've been using. So look at that. It's a little green. We're going to bump up the pink slider just a bit. We'll let the computer catch up, and while it's catching up, we're going to go ahead and drive up the exposure on that and go ahead and hit soft highlights. What is going on here? Okay. Whew. I don't like to drive up my pinks that high, but, hold on here. Now I'm really messing it up. Alright, 26, I like that. Let's go ahead and just fix our horizon line. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I think that's about it. So as always, go ahead, select all, Command Shift E. Same folder as original photo. Export, blah, 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 blah. Long edge. Okay, 72, boom. Well, there you have it, guys. Again, I had a lot of fun on this shoot. Brooke, thanks for letting me come. Guys, like I said, her information's down in the description. Go and check her out. Seriously, she's an awesome photographer, and I hope to get to work with her in the future. As far as the next video goes, I would like to say that we're gonna do fireworks, but who knows? It's been raining, so I can't really say whether or not that's what is gonna be going on tomorrow. So, anyways, guys, stay tuned. We're gonna do probably some Twitter Q&As, or maybe how I reach out to some potential clients and see how I drum up business that way. So. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.